In a Victorian exhibition hall, a vision of the future.
We're going to have autonomous driving, we're going to have much smarter infrastructure.
Of digital engineering and of finance.
Today we'll be talking about central bank digital currencies.
And a new language of business.
Web3, blockchain, decentralized ecosystem.
Tamadoge is a play-to-earn coin on the Ethereum blockchain.
This is the world of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Innovations some believe will change the world by digitizing human transactions. But there is a bug in this vision of digital nirvana. 2022 has seen collapsing crypto values and bankruptcies, culminating in the biggest collapse of all, FTX, the trading platform accused of one of the largest frauds in US financial history.
Anything you'd like to say?
This is Sam Bankman-Fried, the mainstream face of cryptocurrency, extradited from the Bahamas to the US, accused of massive embezzlement, perhaps dragging cryptocurrency with him. It's a fall from grace almost as rapid as the rise of a young man who built a billion-dollar fortune and profile to match from almost nowhere.
He was raised on the Stanford campus. He went to MIT. He had parents that were tenured professors at the Stanford Law School. He had gone on to Jane Street. And even though he had a quirkiness to him or a nerdiness to him, I think people found him relatively engaging and found him to be an upfront sort of guy.
Bankman-Fried, known universally as SBF, made his first fortune from winning bets on Bitcoin and his second from founding FTX, a trading platform he said existed to fund his altruism.
Do you have a sense of how much you've given away so far?
It's a bit north of 100 million so far this year.
But FTX was lavishly marketed with celebrity-laden advertising in primetime Super Bowl slots.
You expect this court to do its business inside? We're not animals. We go outside like humans.
It's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I'm never wrong about this stuff.
Personal endorsements from the likes of supermodel Giselle, and policy activism that drew presidents and prime ministers to a Bahamas conference this year that seemed to affirm SBF's rise. It was a profile and a platform built on the promise of crypto. But what exactly is that worth? To understand, we need to go back to basics. To the Bank of England, a place that's been defining value for more than 300 years.
For centuries, currencies have derived their value from the backing of central banks. That used to come from gold held in the vaults here, but in the age of paper money or polymer, like this tenner, it comes from this. The signature of someone who works in this building printed on every note that says the bank is good for the number that's written on the other side. Crypto wants to do away with all of that. The bank, the notes, the people, and digitize everything, including trust.
It's an ambition that has its roots in the 2008 financial crisis, when the banking system failed and an alternative manifesto for money was born, promising to remove intermediaries from financial exchange with the first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. "14 years on, there are hundreds of coins, and in place of presses and mints, a growing infrastructure of electronic mining.
Mining rigs down here, plug sockets, infrastructure, test units, rack them up, stack them up.
Josh runs a thriving business making and marketing mining rigs in the northwest.
In order for all this crypto to move around, so if I was to send one coin from my wallet to your wallet, it takes some special computers in the middle to make that transaction happen. So we make those special computers, and if you own those computers, you're able to get a little bit of that coin, a financial reward, as a thank you for providing that power to move the coins around.
Think of each of these boxes as an electronic pickaxe, competing to chip coins from the data depths.
One of the really interesting things with cryptocurrency in general, particularly the mineable coins, is that most of them have what's called a difficulty algorithm. So in a nutshell, the more people mining, or the more physical machines trying to mine the coins, the harder that mathematical algorithm gets. So the same amount of coins are split across more people, and it just gets harder.
And underlying it all is a developing technology known as blockchain that may be the most, perhaps the only, truly valuable element of crypto. Each cryptocurrency transaction is recorded on a block that is added to a chain in what's called a distributed digital ledger. Each block contains details of the new transaction and the previous ones, meaning it can't be falsified without changing every other previous link. And because every computer transacting in a cryptocurrency is also monitoring it, they make up a powerful public network overseeing the blockchain, instead of a single central authority or middlemen. That technology has enabled vast sums to be made and lost in crypto.
Hi, Paul Kelso. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
But that growth poses a challenge to regulators like Sir John Cunliffe, Deputy Governor of the Bank of England.
There's a lot of activity that's developed over the last 10 years on the trading and sale of crypto assets without any intrinsic value, so they're incredibly volatile. And all of that has grown up outside of regulation. Some people say they're the new gold, they are the safest thing. They've gone the other way. They've been the most volatile thing. They've lost the most value in that sense. So do they have a future as a safer form of money than that produced by kind of central banks and the financial system? No, I don't think so.
In early November, the volatility caught up with SBF. Questions about the solvency of his crypto hedge fund Alameda Capital prompted a rush of customer withdrawals from FTX, which didn't have the money to cover them. The exchange was frozen as Bankman-Fried explored a sale to rival exchange Binance. Anthony Scaramucci, a business partner who would lose $10 million, flew to the Bahamas to see Bankman-Fried and his father.
I thought I was going down there for a rescue finance mission. When I talked to Professor Joe Bankman, it seemed like there was an asset liability mismatch between short-term liabilities and long-term assets. When I got to the Bahamas, the hole was deeper than it was originally said to me. They then said that they were working with CZ from Binance and that he had signed a non-binding term sheet. But it wasn't until some of the compliance people had asked me to step out of the room and they had said to me, listen, in direct violation of the terms of service, money was moved from accounts over to Alameda, which was Sam's personal account. And somebody asked me for advice on what to do. I said, listen, you have to tell the truth. And then with great sadness, I had a conversation with Professor Bankman, and you could just see the anguish on his face that his son was obviously involved with something that was, at that time, we didn't know, but was borderlining on criminality and potential fraud.
That alleged fraud reaches beyond the Bahamas to the heart of London's legal district, and tens of thousands of investors believed to be in the UK. Louise Abbott, a crypto fraud specialist, represents dozens of them, including an investor with £5 million of life savings tied up in FTX.
That particular investor has lost her whole life savings, so almost in tears, down the phone, completely at a loss. Obviously feels that they shouldn't have put that size investment into one basket, I suppose, but at the same time didn't question that wasn't safe.
People felt they were investing in a mainstream financial product, did they?
They did, and they were. It was a mainstream financial product. It's not a bogus platform, it's genuine, or so it seems, and it would have been very, very difficult or impossible for investors to have known what was going to happen.
Fight down this fund because I was lucky with FTX.
While FTX's investors wait for their money, the collapse has not knocked the optimism of crypto entrepreneurs.
We raised 19 million in 7.5 weeks, so we beat Ethereum's ICO, which was absolutely insane.
$19 million for a crypto coin, essentially.
Yeah.
How do you persuade me that I can trust it? Because trust is the issue in crypto, right?
Yeah, and that's it. So I'm fully doxed, right? So fully doxed means you can find out where I am, you know who I am, it's very easy to track me down. We have a lot of people in crypto who aren't fully doxed, and that's where the scary guys come in.
While coins keep coming, the trading exchanges that facilitate speculation say they will learn lessons.
We're, of course, shocked and need to react quickly to make sure to assure the industry and assure our users that, the same thing isn't going to happen to us. So I do think that there's more and more regulation for these centralized exchanges that are controlling lots of people's money. There needs to be more transparency in the industry about that.
But while new entrants ride the speculative waves of crypto, big business is embracing the underlying technology.
Cryptocurrencies and blockchain are barely 15 years old. These are teenage technologies. But you get a sense in here of how far they've come. This place is full of companies looking to exploit their potential. And it's not just startups. There are blue chip corporations already deeply invested. Whatever the future might look like, they want a slice of it.
Blockchain for us is a good opportunity to actually partner up with all our suppliers and also offer a good possibility to share data across the board in a safe and privacy-preserving way.
We've already done our first blockchain system. We call it the digital asset broker, and that enables vehicles and electric vehicle charging points to actually transact amongst themselves.
Santander itself, we've been looking into blockchain probably for the last 7 years, and we've done multiple projects within it, right? We issued bonds on the blockchain.
Crypto's demanding attention in the city too, as institutional investors ask their banks to offer access to an estimated $1 trillion in new digital assets.
We believe digital assets are here to stay for the long term. The primary job for a bank is to provide services to the clients where they need it. We're slowly beginning to see large asset managers talking about crypto assets being part of the arsenal for their clients to utilize. It's in two flavors. One is either an exchange-traded product or an outright trade into the crypto asset.
For crypto and its technology to mature requires regulation. The Bank of England is considering how to make it safer both for investors and the wider financial system.
This crypto trading of crypto assets was not big enough to destabilize the financial system, but it was starting to develop links with the financial system. I don't know how that will develop, but we had banks and investment funds and others who wanted to invest in it. And I think we should think about regulation before it becomes integrated with the financial system and before we could have a potential systemic problem. I don't think it will be possible to say this can be just kept outside of the financial system. It's too dangerous.
There is another step the bank is considering, a digital central bank currency that could one day replace cash.
There would be a digital equivalent of the I promise to pay the bearer, which in the end underpins confidence in money in the UK. And we want to ensure that as physical cash becomes less usable in many parts of the economy, perhaps we need to offer something digitally to provide that underpinning.
Sam Bankman-Fried faces decades in jail if convicted of defrauding investors out of billions of dollars by using FTX's customers' money to cover bad trades by his hedge fund. Money laundering and breaking the law when making millions of dollars in political donations. The chief executive handling FTX's bankruptcy says there was nothing new about the fraud.
This is really old-fashioned embezzlement. This is just taking money from customers and using it for your own purpose. Not sophisticated at all.
As investors count their losses, the collapse of FTX and its frontman has exposed the dangers of this new frontier.
Crypto is often referred to as the Wild West of the financial world, and this is just an example of exactly what can happen.
And risks remain.
I don't think there's a sustainable financial system built around things that can lose half their value in a day or increase half their value.
As Sam Bankman-Fried contemplates life behind bars, crypto faces its own reckoning.
New technologies, they bring out charlatans and fraudsters. It does not mean that the new technology is going away, but what it does mean is that we need the regulators.
A technology designed to beat the mainstream financial system may need that same system to finally lend it credibility.